My loves, I am going to talk about a business decision I made recently as illustration of the power of pivoting. And really, this is also something that applies to going through hell, even though the business story is like really sweet and bubbly and exciting. But it's been a summer of pivots for me and some profound heartbreak, decisions of depth. It's Phoenix vibes. I am in my Phoenix era. This is what I want to say about the right decision. You know it's the right decision when you feel the relief of having made it. There's like this rush of light that comes in with the declaration. It's like the exhale. It's all the affirmation that you need. It definitely does not mean that after the decision, it's just all glide. But if we focus on the mental clarity of when we knew that moment, then we'll keep going in the right direction. So when you're doubting the decision, you go back to that moment when you knew that you knew. It's an inflection point. That's when the light enters, and it's very real. So you ride that light because the light is always moving forward, not backward into soupy, goopy pain of clinging on to repeated lessons. All right, let's talk about some fun stuff. So my new book, it's called Bless and Release. It's about the physics of letting go. I think that might be the subtitle, but I have time to determine a new subtitle because even though the book was scheduled to come out next month, like, oh my God, wait a second. What date is it when you're listening to this? Yeah, the book would be coming out in about 2 weeks from now, but it's not going to. I made an easy decision for a hard pivot, and we've moved the publication date to spring 2026. Why is this utterly miraculous? Because this is very out of character for me. I'm a goer. Like, let's go. It's time. I said I will be there. And because I said so, I will be there. But I changed my mind. And it created this waterfall of fresh insight and revival kind of energy and a lot of gratitude. So here's the story. I was at a mastermind for book ballers. Let me give you the context here. You need to have sold 1 million copies or close to it to get in this room. So it's pretty fancy pants. Definitely honored to be there. We actually closed our weekend being together with one word. We went around the room. It was so beautiful. And my word was honored. One of the hosts of the mastermind was James Clear. So maybe you've heard of his book. Atomic Habits. Sold 25 million copies sold. So when James speaks, you pay attention. He grabbed the mic and he said, look, he's so down to earth. He's beautiful. He's like this really clear, James clear, gentle giant. He said, the secret to having a best-selling book is to write a great book. I really had to resist the impulse to roll my eyes. I just thought, for a second, just for a nanosecond, this is potentially so trite, easy to say. But actually, it really landed for me. And it just like sunk deeper into my psyche because James told us about his process for writing, or as you would say if you're American, his process for writing. So he set out to make all other books on habits irrelevant. He was going to write the best book on habits. And again, cynical part of me just thought, this compete and conquer approach, I don't know if I'm that into it. In the past, it would have made me cringe because I would have thought, that's not very spiritual. But I was actually in that moment stirred, like I felt myself move in because maybe I was just having some like authorly arousal of like bigness, but it really rang to me like wisdom. And next to love as a virtue, wisdom is my favorite virtue. So, do I want to write the best book ever on the topic of letting go? Yes. Do I feel in competition with anyone? No, never. Not because I think I'm better than anybody, because I just like, I'm going to be Danielle and everybody's going to be them. And I can't compete with my dharma, So it brings me back to the question, do I want to write the best book ever on the topic of letting go? Yes. Yes, I do. Let me bring you back to the timing. I'm at this mastermind, and Bless and Release, the book, is about to go to the graphic designer because I thought, finished the book. So I felt stirred, and I sent a message to my team. I just said, wild card, what if we bump the pub date to spring? This is not the kind of suggestion or direction anybody who works with me. Anything to do with delaying is not a Danielle move, But I got back this flood of very enthusiastic yeses. And in about 2 minutes, we had a fresh plan. This is such an indicator of making the right decision. You feel relief and you feel the spaciousness and all these fresh ideas flood in. Oh, such a beautiful thing. So our fresh plan was, we decided that instead of self-publishing, we were going to work with a hybrid publisher, which I'd been very resistant to. But then I met Rory, who is a beautiful man with acumen and industry integrity. And he's a hybrid publisher. You can check out him and his team at missiondrivenpress.com. Highly recommended. Us going in this direction means a lot of things. It means true collaboration. There's so much I could say about publishing. I'll teach a class on this another time, but it means a different dynamic than I've worked with in the past. It's greater distribution. It's foreign translation. It's heart-centered. I'm stoked. Also, because we did this pivot, it gave us time to form a focus group for the book, which I have never done. I usually cut things so close to timing and publication dates that I just write my stuff and put it out there. There's not a lot of editing that happens. I've really been of this school of Seth Godin and Steve Jobs, like just ship it. Nothing's ever perfect. Even the master artists look at everything and think, oh, it could have been better. So I'm just like, this is great. And it's going to get out in the world. I'm going to reread it. And I could probably see 10 ways to make it better, but let's keep going. It's not the same right now. We formed a focus group for the book. So I've got 40 plus people dissecting my work, and I love it. Please get critical and finicky. I want to hear it all so I can make it better for millions of people. Deciding to pivot meant that we had time to plan to survey thousands of more people about what they want to let go of. I am going to, create, right? Enact, execute. I am going to have the world's largest survey on what people want to let go of. I'm learning so much already. The answers are immediate and emphatic, and we've already identified the 7 common patterns of what people most want to bless and release. I'll give you a sneak peek. You don't have to wait to read the book in the spring. We want to let go of the fatigue of managing other people's emotions. The decision to pivot has given me more space and time. It's just more energetic ease, nervous system, chilling out. And my higher self and my focus group is giving me daily messages for how to make bless and release more effectual, more better, closer to the best book ever written on letting go. The pivot also freed up tons of energy and space on the team so we could focus on selling our centered day planners this month. We only have a few weeks to take orders before we go to print. And this is another thing about knowing that you've made the right decision, is you really have a hard time imagining your life before the decision. You kind of have that, what was I thinking, epiphany. Or just like, what were we thinking that we could really do this beautiful campaign for tens of thousands of people to get their centered day planners. And at the same time, I was going to be getting on the road to do events around the Bless and Release book. That was nuts. But here's a pivot lesson. And then I'm going to get into the philosophy of going through hell. The pivot lesson is move slower. Or maybe, I think I want to change that word. Move more intentionally. That's it. Move more intentionally. Move more deliberately so that you can think deeper. And when you think deeper, you're going to grow stronger. Here's the catch. It's not a catch. Here's what we need to know. This is going to require courage, and it will require faith that the universe is for you. That the divine, that your higher self, your soul, your guidance system is always there with the wisdom, the virtue, the radiance, the resilience, the insight when you become more deliberate. Just stop for a second, go deeper. The light is waiting to get in. You also need to believe, in order to pivot for the better, you need to believe that your needs are valid. I'm going to write so much more about this. I've just gone through such a portal of realizing that my needs are my needs. And I'm going to write a book about it. And you've got to know that you're here to serve and that there is joy in that service. So I've used a business example about being a book baller and pushing a pub date out. But this applies to, guess what, all relationships of every kind, which brings me to the phoenix. There's something that's not often talked about with the myth of the phoenix rising from the flames. She rises from the ashes, reborn, rebirth. I think this part of the mythology is especially potent for those of us who feel like we are burning identities, we are burning dreams down, or for those of us who are feeling at the mercy of grief, or we're in pain from the ending of relationships, or relationships just changing form. This is what I want you to know. Number one, the phoenix always rises from the ashes. Her rebirth is certain. It is never in doubt. If you are burning, you are rising. Reminds me of this beautiful song, so powerful, it can be hard to listen to, by the Bengsons, Bengson. I'll link to it in the podcast notes. It's called Dying. And the line there, the crux is, you think you are dying, but you are being reborn. You think, my phoenix friend, the fire is going to annihilate you, but it's actually remaking you, for sure. Here's my second point about the phoenix. With every rising, and we're going to have multiple risings because life is going to refashion us more than once. Every time she gets out of the ashes, the phoenix becomes stronger than her previous incarnation. She is more beautiful than she was before. His wingspan increases with every rebirth. So, my love, please do not get down on yourself when the soupy goopy pain of clinging to repeating lessons is happening. It is natural. It is for you. The repeated lesson is fuel for our illumination. Brightening is inevitable. It is certain. You are becoming stronger and more beautiful than ever before. You get to do it in your own way. All that burning, by the way, the pivoting, the hard decisions and the easy pivots, or the easy decisions and the hard pivots. You get to do the fire to ashes to rising just in your way. You can do the slow burn, you can plod, or I'm more of a fast burner. You just run through the blaze, like all desirous and determined, on fire and messy. You get to decide how you do it. You will know it's the right decision when you feel the relief of having made it. And then, this is really what I've been wanting to say, then for sure, you keep going. Keep going, babe. I'm going to keep going. Keep holding your hand. Keep giving you gratitude for being here. I'm so appreciative that you're here. I will be here every Friday for the foreseeable, always with love through the flames. Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word. With love.